Okay, what we have here is a Craftsman Easy Steer snowblower. What I'm going to do is show you how to check the needle and seat and float on the carburetor. This one was flooding over and causing gas to seep out on the ground. Okay, I've already taken the carburetor off. Here's where it was at. To take the carburetor off, though, you have to take a lot of the metal off. And this shield here, which was up here, was kind of a pain. What I had to do is notch out here so I could get to this bolt. Otherwise, you'd have to take this whole red assembly off, and it gets pretty time consuming. Okay, now I'm going to show you the carburetor. So here's the carburetor. Here it is here. And the float is in here. I'm going to pull this off and show you how this thing works. Just remove the bowl cover. There's the float. It has a needle and seat in here. First, I'm going to check it, see if it seems to be working right. This is where the fuel would come in. The carburetor sits like this, and when the bowl is empty with fuel, it's down. The float is down, and when it fills up, it shuts off the needle seat. I'll show you with air here. This one seems to be working fine. Now it was seeping. I cleaned it all. I cleaned out the needle and seat. I'll show you what I did here. Pull this pin, remove the float. Here's the seat, and this is the needle, and it just goes on like this, and it just either shuts it or opens it depending on the float level of gasoline in the float bowl. So what I did is I cleaned this out, cleaned this off. Put the pin back in, it just slides in, and this just floats up and down and shuts it off or on. So I believe it's working now. See, it takes very little pressure, upward pressure, to shut the valve off. So I'm going to reassemble it now. And now I can put it back on the tractor. Okay, now I have the carburetor back. What I'm going to do now is just put it on here and see if it leaks. Just kind of test it out here. I plugged off this fuel line temporarily. I'm just going to pull it off and put it back on the carburetor. It's going to leak a little bit when I do this. Okay, now the carburetor bowl is filling up with gas. The float is low, and we're just going to let it sit here for a while and make sure that it doesn't leak. Okay, I've got the bowl back on, or the carburetor back on, and I put the fuel line on. I don't know if you can see it. Right here. Just temporary on, no leaks. I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes or so, making sure it's not going to leak. What it was doing, it was carburetor's bowl was filling up, and it wouldn't shut off the valve, and when gas was leaking out here, out the front, and down on the ground. You can see where it was leaking before. So it looks like I've solved the problem. Thanks.